Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Are you guys ready for another episode of Chatting with Alana? I haven't the slightest clue what number it is. I have no idea, but I got my little list of topics that I wanted to talk to you guys about or tell you about, give you a little update, because honestly it's been a little while since I have been in front of the camera. I did a bunch of pre-recording and yeah, I haven't been in front of the camera for a little bit. So get yourself a project just to work on while I just chat your ear away and get something to drink. I just saw something I didn't want you guys to see until I was ready. Sorry. So first thing I want to tell you, do you remember the last, was it maybe the last Chatting with Alana? I'm trying not to rock, sorry. I told you guys that I was thinking about selling my Addy knitting machines because I just wasn't into them anymore. I'm not using them, and there's no reason for me just to have them sitting in a closet. So I was telling you guys that I wanted to sell them. Well, I did. I ended up selling them. I posted them on Facebook Marketplace. I don't remember what morning it was. And then that night, or the next morning, somebody messaged me and they're like, "Can I come down and get them?" I'm like, "Yeah." So she came and she told me what she was going to use them for, and she says she makes hats for the homeless and takes them over to by St. Louis, and she drove quite a ways to come and get these hats or these machines. And but anyway, I ended up selling them, and I am trying, one of my New Year's resolutions is to not spend money needlessly. Well, something that I've been really wanting to get is a shampooer, a carpet shampooer. So I bought one. I have still some money left, and I've just been kind of, every time we go to an antique store, I'll pick up little things, which I've got some to show you. But anyway, so I sold my adding machines and I got my shampooer, and I wanted, a part of me, like, I had pros and cons. I wanted a larger one, like one that's like the size of a vacuum. But then I also wanted the smaller one. The one the size of the vacuum, I wanted just because it's easier. I can get a bigger area done in a certain amount of time. But the only reason I didn't want it is because where am I going to put it? I'm going to have to find another spot to clean out to, fill the area. So it's like, I don't know where I'm going to put it. So I just decided to get a smaller one. Plus it left me money that I could go spend at resale shops or antique stores. I'm going to pause for just a second. All right, sorry about that. Anyway, so I am super happy that I sold those and I got as much as I did for them. I'm happy that I sold them and got what I wanted. Anyway, I'm getting tongue-tied. The next thing I have that I thought about selling is I have that, it's just a loom that you use, like kids use them with the little rubber bands. I did a tutorial with mine to show how to make a hook, a holder like that would go on the shaft of or the handle of your crochet hook, and that's the only thing I ever used it for. And it's underneath me, and I thought about selling that too. And I don't think I would get someone to buy it as fast as I did the Addy knitting machines, but I don't know. I thought about it. Anyway, so another thing that I wanted to tell you about was that I have been doing a lot better with keeping up with my written crochet patterns. Let me rephrase that. I'm doing a lot better with getting caught up with them. I've been working a lot lately on them and getting them typed out and getting them on Etsy and getting underneath in the description box of the video, getting the link to it. And it's taken a while. I've had unfortunately, I don't want to, I want to tell you guys this, but I don't want to talk about it because it's frustrating and I get upset. So just kind of, I'm just going to tell you real quick what it is. I have been having a lot of health issues. Just to put it quickly to tell you what it is I am having a migraine every day. Every day. It's my eyesight is messed up, the pain from the headaches, the just everything that comes with an ocular migraine. It's got to where I had one here, I'd have one day, I'd have one a couple days later, and then a couple of days later, then it got to where I was having one every other day, and now it's to the point to where I'm having one every single day. And I a part of me thinks it's my ear. So for those of you that don't know, just a real quick recap, I quit smoking. I cold turkey quit smoking. And then like a couple months later after I quit, I started having dizziness. And if I'd lay down, the room would just start spinning. And like I felt like I was losing my mind. And I went to the doctor and they're like, well, it's vertigo. You need to go to a physical therapist and do all these different movements. And I did, and over and nothing happened. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it's fluid in my ear. I can hear it and I can feel it. So finally they were like, okay, let's, well, first they made me do an MRI of my head. And if you've ever had an MRI, that is terrifying. I have made the guy hold my hand while my head was in it until I calmed down so I could do the MRI, because I couldn't, it was just like panic. Anyway, they did the MRI, nothing, and finally they sent me to an ENT, an ear, nose, and throat specialist, an otolaryngologist, and it was an older man, and he took this tube, or not a tube, but like this scope thing, and he put it in my nose and went down, and he was like digging around in there and was looking, and it was so hard not to gag, but he was looking in there, and he goes, oh yeah, I can see it. He's like, it's full of fluid. And he put me on an allergy pill, Singular. He put me on Singular, and after because it doesn't take, go like instantly work. You got to get it in your system, so it was like a couple of days, and it was better, but I could still hear and feel the fluid in my ear. And I told him, I was like, the dizziness and all of that's gone, but my ear, I could still hear and feel the fluid. It's not leaving. So he ended up putting a tube in my ear, and that was awesome. Like the fluid drained instantly, but I still occasionally have a couple of issues with my eardrum or my ear canal. And I think that's what's causing these migraines and the visual thing. Like what I mean with like the vision isn't like, I don't know how to explain this. It's almost like if you look at a light and then you look away and you're like, oh man, that light was really bright, and that's all you can see is that light. It's that. That is what I see all the time. Like when I'm trying to read, or when I'm trying to watch TV or crochet or anything like that. It's like everything is like accentuated by a light. It's that all the time. But then when the migraine starts, that's when it's talking about it terrifies me, because I don't want to jinx it and then I have one. Sorry. Like when the migraine starts, that's when it's like, I call it the white noise. It's like an undulating white noise in my vision, and then I can't see. And then it's horrible. And then I get what I call mush brain, because I can't form sentences. I can't, like I'm looking at, like right now I'm looking at a TV remote. I would be like, why can I not think of that? It's that, and just, it's things like that. And it just keeps happening every single day. And I went to the doctor, and she looked in my ear, and she said something that I'm like, that's exactly what the doctor the last time when this all started with my ear said. So, rewind a couple years, and I had told the doctor something's wrong, I can feel it in my ear. He looked in my ear with a scope, and he said, well, it doesn't look that bad. I see a little fluid, but, it doesn't look like it's infected or anything like that. And that's exactly what she said, this last doctor said whenever I went. She looked in there, and I told her, I said, I'm telling you, I think it's my ear. Well, she looked in there with the scope, and she's like, I can see the hole where, what I mean by that is that whenever you get a tube put in your ear, the tube will stay in there for like a year or so, and then it just kind of falls out, and you're left with a hole. Well, I'm left with a hole. I can like plug my nose and like blow, and air will come out of that hole. But anyway, she's like, I can see where the hole where it was, and then she looked in this one, and she goes, there's a little bit of fluid, but not anything that would cause. And I'm like, I'm telling you, that's it. That is what is happening. Anyway, so my next thought was, okay, well, what do we do now? And she's like, okay, I'm going to give you a prescription for the migraine. She goes, as soon as you get one, you take this pill. And she goes, it's going to make you feel a little weird. Some people it does, some people it don't, whatever. And she goes, but I want you to have a CT scan of your head. And I'm like, well, for those of you that don't know, I'm not working anymore, so our health insurance and our out-of-pocket has changed. Our out-of-pocket has skyrocketed, so for me to have a CT is going to cost us thousands. And it's like, oh, we can't afford that right now. And I got to thinking, and I thought, well, what if I try to get back in with that doctor, my ENT? Well, that's a whole nother story. He no longer works there. So I need to see the new one. Well, of course, they're so backed up, I can't get in to see him until June. It's like, all right, well, so I got a bottle of over-the-counter allergy medication, and fingers crossed, knock on wood, please, this works. This stops the migraines. Knock on wood, I haven't had one for a couple of days now, and the vision is still there. The vision, like, it's still that light, the brightness. I'm thinking about going to an eye doctor and maybe, saying something. Maybe my prescription needs to be changed or something. I don't know. So that's what I've been dealing with that. It's nonstop. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore. The next thing I have on my little, my little list that I wanted to show you. The other day, we went to Sam's Club, and we were getting a couple of things. Like, we always buy, like, toilet paper and our laundry detergent and everything like that there. And my husband was looking at the pants, and I look over, and I thought, oh, there's books. I'm going to see, because they always have, like, crochet books or magazines, and I wanted to see what they had. So I walked around and I didn't see anything, and I went back and he was looking at pants still, and then he came over and started looking at the books and the magazines, and I was standing next to him, and I looked down and I saw something I didn't see the first time, and I was like, oh, I want that. So I grabbed it real quick, and it's a crochet kit, which I don't have many of these, and well, I do, but I don't usually buy these because, to me, and it's just my personal opinion, I don't want anyone to think negative of me because this is what I thought or what I usually think. But in my personal opinion, some of the crochet kits, the characters that you make don't look that great to me. To me, I'm kind of like, nah, I'd rather not. But this one I got because the characters look very well crocheted. Like, I was so happy with it. I guess I should tell you, it's Stranger Things. Look at the back. They look like good quality work is what I'm trying to say. Like they did a good job designing this, and all of that. So what it comes with is the book, a hook, and enough yarn to make I think just these two, I think. But what's interesting is that the yarn they used is very easy to find. So I would be willing to use the yarn they sent you, and then it tells you exactly what yarn they used. So this is Hobby rainbow cotton 8-4. So I mean, you just go on Hobby and order that. So using what they sent, and then making the rest of the characters with the yarn that they tell you to use. You just go on Hobby and buy it, and it's like, that is, thank you. Because a lot of the times the yarn they use is like, where do you get that? Or it's really expensive and you don't want to get it. But anyway, I was super happy that I found that, because I thought that was the cutest thing ever. And like I said, I was happy with it because the quality of the patterns, or the dolls. And then, oh no, did I not bring those in here? Oh yeah, I did. So my husband and I went to a I don't know if you'd call it like a resale shop, or just, I want to say it was a resale shop, but it was packed full. Like, holy cow. And they had a lot in this little building. And I'm like, I'm going to start digging. And she's like, I'll negotiate with any of the prices and yada yada. So I was like, heck yeah. So I see yarn and hooks and needles and all that. So I start digging through all that. And the yarn, I don't want to buy yarn because I have enough right now, and I only want to buy yarn when I need it for a project. So I'm like, no, I don't want to get any of that. I found a couple pattern books and I picked those up, and then I thought, well, I want to go through the hooks and needles, because I've been practicing my knitting, and I made a wash rag. It's not the prettiest thing, but I was proud of myself. But anyway, and I'm really liking Takumi, which is a clover knitting needle. It's bamboo. That's my favorite. But so I found a couple of those for $1, and I'm like, heck yeah. So I got those. And then I saw this. And I was like, well, what is that? And usually a pack like this in a, I'm trying to think of how to say it. So usually whenever you go to an antique store or a thrift store or a resale shop, and they'll have knitting needles in like an old vase, an old flower vase. And whenever you see a package like this, it's always just knitting needles, DPNs, like double point needles. And so I'm like, so I just kind of keep looking around, and finally I grab this and I pull it out and I turn it around, and I about come unglued. I was like, honey! I turn this around and it's a Hero Afghan hook. All right, so a Hero hooks, I know from Crystal, from Bag O' Day. Obviously, everybody knows Crystal. Crystal likes Hero hooks. Well, through my years of going to antique stores and thrift stores, I have found a couple Hero hooks, and I put them back in my little collection, and I have a little collection of them. But I've never seen an Afghan hook, an Afghan Hero hook. And I was like, oh, look at that. It's a size G, a 14. I paid $1 for it, but I was super happy. And when I say Afghan, it's Tunisian. It's a Tunisian crochet hook, right? Well, I kept digging, and I found another one. So I have two. This one is an F, a 9-inch. Here, I'll take one. I'll take this one out. The reason I'm taking this one out is just because it's easier. It's smaller. But there. I was so happy with this. And you can tell it's a Hero because that flat head. Like, do I have... This is actually, I have no idea what this is. It's not labeled. It probably came, I don't know. Anyway, so if you notice, The silver one looks just like a boy hook. So if you notice, see how the top of the head's right here? See how the hero one is a little flatter, but the silver one is a little more bulbous? That's how I know it's a hero. I'll just go ahead and take this one out too and show you. Scoot down. Ooh, this one's a matte finish. There, can you see that? See how the hero is flat and the silver one is more bulbous? That's how I always know it's a hero hook, whether it's labeled or not. I was so happy when I found those. I was like, holy cow. That is the coolest thing ever. And then my husband went to, I was at home cleaning and filming and everything, and he went to a couple of antique stores by himself, and he came home. He told me, sorry, it's under a bag and I can't, there. He told me, he's like, honey, I found you a couple of things, so I got it for you. I thought maybe you'd like them. And I was like, all right. So he started pulling them out, and he found me her. She is a, not Barbie, with a very pretty crochet dress on. And I told him, I was like, man, this dress, it kind of fits her odd. I said, you know what? I think this is a bed dress. So if you take the doll and you put her legs out, her dress should lay, here, let me do this. Her dress should lay in a circle, like a pretty circle. I was like, that's why. Oh, pardon me. I told him, I said, honey, this is a bed doll. I was like, that's awesome. So he brought me her for like $1. And then he was like, okay, now look at this. I gotta grab it real quick. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying not to knock everything over. Okay. He found me. They had a price sticker. Oh, here we go. He found me a stack of magazines for 10 cents each. And they are work baskets. So here is one from 1968. 1982. And then here is a creative quilting. I kept this because, or he got it for me for something. I don't know. There was a crochet pattern in there, but I'll find it. Anyway, here's another one from 1982. 1982. 1982. 79. 82, and then he got Hooked on Crochet from August 2007. This has a really cute baby set in it. And then he bought, oh, this has got to be the cutest thing. Crochet World, my favorite, December 2010. And look at the little nativity set. I'm not showing an address. I thought that was cute. And then this one, this is a very cute little doily. This is from 2008. I love that. I was just noticing the back. The Santa set on the back. They were still selling this in 2008. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't pay attention to that. That's interesting. Anyway, So he got me those, and I just thought that was the cutest thing. I was like, thank you, honey. I said, you did great. And then another time we, and this has been over, this has probably been since before Christmas, is some of the stuff that I'm showing you that I have gotten or talking about. I've had since before Christmas. I just haven't filmed. Okay, so we were at a thrift store or an antique store. Probably. So today is today's Groundhog's Day. Ha! I forgot. So you're going to be watching this Monday. Anyway, so, right? Is today the 2nd? I think it is. Anyway, a couple of weeks ago, we went to an antique store. And we've been to this one several times, and I don't think I've ever bought anything. And we were going through everything, and I'm just kind of, meandering around looking, and I see an old sewing kit, which is those hard plastic sewing kits from like the 50s and the 60s or 70s. And they're full of, every time I find them, they're full of needles and, old zippers, and always old clasps for bras, like the back of a bra with the little claw hook things. Every time I find one of those, they're full of those bra clasps, like cut off of a bra. I'm just like, what the heck? Anyway, and I see one of those, and I was like, ooh, I wonder what's in this, because sometimes you can find some pretty cool old hooks, old crochet hooks, hero hooks. So I open it, and I see something sitting on the top, and I was like, is that what I think it is? Which at the time I was kind of like, I don't know. And so I closed it. I dug through there, and I didn't really see much, anything else in there that I wanted. And I closed it, and I was like, well, how much does she want for it? And they wanted $35 for it. I was like, wow, that is a lot. So I was like, no, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. Ever since then, I could not stop thinking about this one little item I saw sitting in there. Couldn't stop thinking about it. And I was like, honey, I have to go back and get it. I know it's expensive, but I cannot stop thinking about it. I really want what I saw sitting in there. So he takes me over there one day, and they were closed. And I was like, so we waited, and he takes me back over there, and he's, we go in there, and I'm like, it's probably sold, it's probably gone, it's probably, I guarantee it's probably gone. And I turn the corner, and there it sits. It's still there, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I go up to it, and I open it, and the item I saw sitting in there is still sitting there, and I was like, I don't care, I'm buying this. So I get it, and I take it to the register, and my husband's like, how much is it? And I was like, it's 35. He's like, what? I was like, I know, but I can't. And she goes, oh no, it's on sale. It's 20% off. And I'm like, it's fate. It's fate. I have to get it. So, I get it. I bring it home, and my husband, cleans it up for me, polishes it for me. And I am so excited to show you guys this. And I know you guys are probably saying, just come on, show it. But this is what I wanted. Does anybody know what it is? This is a tatting shuttle. So, for those of you that have been watching all of my work basket magazines that I've been showing, there's always tatting patterns in here. Always. And of course, I can't find one right off the bat to show you. Give me like 2 seconds. I know there's one in here. There's always tatting patterns in these. Anyway, it's fine. But I decided, and I've been practicing, I taught myself how to tat. Let me rephrase that. I didn't teach myself. I got on YouTube and I found a video. I'm trying to get it. Okay. I found a video and this woman is showing you how to tat, and I learned the basic. I've learned how to make the stitch. So I hold it, and I hold the tatting shuttle, and you go this way, under, over, flip the knot, and then you go this way, over, under, flip the knot, and you make a little stitch, and you keep going. And this is all I've learned. There's so much more to it, but I have learned how to do the beginning of tatting. Oh, nope, that's not right. You guys are gonna laugh, but nope. I've taught myself a phrase because it is super hard. Sorry, I keep having an itch in my nose, and I think it's from this sweater. But I have taught myself a little saying to remember how to wrap, because it is very easy to get confused on how you're wrapping your work. But I've told myself peacock, under, over, flip the knot. Around the moon, this is a hard one. Around the moon, over the road, flip the knot. And you know you're doing it right because you should be able to pull and the knots are still there. You can move your knots along your work, and that's how you know that your knots are right. So it's peacock, under, over, flip the knot. Around the moon, over the road. Flipping the knot is a little hard on this because it's older thread. I actually got on Amazon and bought a couple of newer ones, and I'm using crochet thread to practice and to learn, and it's a lot easier. But I wanted to show you this one because this is my first vintage one, and I'm proud of it. And I have to tell you, and some of you, I'm going to go ahead and put this up, but I'm super proud of this. So I'm going to learn this too. Anyway, so, where was I going with that? I completely just lost my train of thought. Anyway, I did. Oh yeah. So some of you know that we have been going to antique stores and thrift stores for several years, and I have found all kinds of stuff. I have a huge collection. I am in love with, and I have to tell you, I have never seen a tatting shuttle, never, and I wasn't looking for tatting shuttles, granted, but I had never seen one before. And whenever I saw that one in the town, just a couple towns over, I honestly, I don't know why I didn't buy it when I first seen it. I should have, but anyway. Oh no, I just noticed half of my ring light is out. Anyway, so let me see what I've got on here that I wanted to tell you. Oh, I had been, so I told you guys, it's been a while, but I told you that I have my New Year's resolutions. Some of them is to learn hairpin lace, broomstick lace, knitting, and I added tatting. Oh, excuse me. I have been practicing my hairpin lace, and I've got a design that I'm working on, so I'm super excited about that. It's going to be quite a while before you guys see it. Just because I want to get it right. I want to get it pretty, and I want it to look good. Anyway, so I wanted to tell you guys that. And then, due to a couple of things. So, my other channel, Cooking with Alana, I have been doing good on that. The views are good. I thought when I picked the channel back up, I thought I was closer to being monetized than I was. And with the price of food the way it is right now, I'm having a bit of a hard time being able to afford the food. I don't mean that as in... how do I explain this? So, what I mean is that it gets expensive to buy ingredients for a recipe to make for YouTube that might necessarily not be eaten in my house because we don't eat a lot of sugar. And sometimes those recipes that I would make on there, or that I do make on there, not everybody in my house likes. So anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that whenever I picked up that channel again after letting it set for a few years, I thought I was closer to being monetized than I was. See, YouTube had changed its what am I trying to say? Its requirements to be monetized. It went from so many subscribers and so many hours of views to so many, and I thought I was closer than what I was. And I thought I could get closer quicker than I am. And with that, and then with the price that food is right now, I mean, eggs, good God. Like, what on earth? Anyway, I'm saying all of this to say is that I'm going to go from making 2 videos a week to probably just 1 video. And I'm going to go down to making what gets the most views, which is... sweet stuff. And the reason being is because there's a whole bunch of different reasons, and I'm gonna keep it like that for a while until I get monetized, and then it pays for the ingredients that I would have to buy, which it sucks because I don't want to do that. I love making like the keto recipes for you guys and all of that. It's expensive. Anyway, but I wanted to tell you guys that. Okay. But yeah, that is it. That is everything I had on my little list. I will say that the magazines that he bought me, if they are duplicates, that I'll probably end up putting in the giveaway pile and go from there. I'm getting tired. Anyway, that is it, guys. I'm going to end this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss what's next. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.